The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 24th day of July 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we are able to pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamal Hartman, and we'll have a news break from Teo Dill a bit later. How's everyone feeling today? Everyone good? We are 1 week away from first ball. 1 week away from first ball. That means we are 1 week away from St. George's wrestling the cup from Somerset. How you feeling about that, everybody? Oh, I'm so ready. I'm so ready. Now, let me manage my expectations. I did say I'm not going to be emotionally attached this year. I said that. I've been let down. You know, I actually put a post up recently. I said, you know, I have so little faith in humanity these days that I don't know how people bet on sports. Like seriously, in the United States, they have all these betting sites and, you know, DraftKings and all these other things. And I'm just like, I have so little faith in other people that I'm just like, I could not. Like, they're human beings. Like, all it takes is an off night and a guy, you know, a basketball player, let's say, who's usually, you know, 50% shooter, decides it's going to be a 20, 30% shooter. Usually scores 30 points a night, scores 20 points for the next 3 nights that I bet. Like, I have so little faith. But all that to say, 1 week away from first ball, Emancipation Day, the first day of cup match, exciting times for Bermuda. Are you in the spirit, folks? I am in the spirit. I am ready. I am excited. My favorite time of the year, honestly, no, Christmas is, but that's because it's, you know, my 2 favorite times there. You know what is weird? That my 2 favorite times of the year are 2-day holidays. That's shameful. That's shameful. But anyway, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome the president of Somerset Cricket Club, Richard Scott, onto the show. Looking forward to the conversation. We're going to be discussing the upcoming annual classic, as we did with the president of St. George's Cricket Club, who's the host of this year's annual classic, Michelle Painter, on Tuesday. The daily play today will be more cup match trivia. So yeah, hopefully you all haven't done too well the first two trivia days with cup match. So hopefully whatever I pull out the deck today, you all get right. I'm just going to pull from, I think I'll pull from the deck. You'll see, because I don't want to give you something too easy. All right, like who currently holds the cup. We're not going to do that. I'm pretty sure everyone knows who holds the cup. It's the same club that's held the cup for the last 13, 14 years. And we're not going to rub that in, all right? Do our part to continue to improve our community. And also, big shout out to everyone who came out yesterday to Medical House. I don't want to call names because I may forget some, but it was so wonderful to see even those who just tune in on the radio. One lady, I believe she said her name was Marilyn. She said she tunes in on the radio, and she said she used to work with my mom. I love things like that, and people remember me from my mom and so on. So Miss Marilyn, it was a pleasure meeting you in person. And I don't remember everyone's name, so forgive me. Oh, little China, 5-year-old China. She comes from celebrities, but she thought I was one. I'm definitely not. But it was so nice to meet little China yesterday as well at Medical House. And someone hosting us yesterday. But I was told that there were gift certificates, and most of them were for $5, and one was for $50. So if you got the $50 gift voucher, if you received it, please let us know. All right. And stay tuned to the show so that you know when the next event like that is going to be. All right. Let's jump in. Well, we've got Suzanne Ingham says, "You're awesome Thursday, thriving Jamel and Teo, forever true, blue and blue." Oh, right. You are abusing our guest today already. We've got Kenton Trott says, "Good morning, TDH family. I hope the president of SCC is smiling this week because he will be crying next week." Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, look, Somerset fans, you better show up. I mean, show up. This is becoming one-sided. Even yesterday at Medical House, the majority of the people that came were St. George's fans. There were not many Somerset fans. I mean, we had to beg people to take Somerset towels, at least take it to wash your car or something. But no, it was a joy. It was a joy. All right. It's your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure Trucking. Marlon Braun says, "No chance, Somerset all day." Okay, you're showing up. But we've got a question for you, a very fun one this morning. No politics, some fun stuff this morning. Start shedding tears now, Somerset, says Dr. Anthony Richardson. All right, the talk has begun. So look, folks, let's check it out. This is your question of the morning. How can Bermuda and Bermudians help its men's football team qualify for the World Cup? How can Bermuda and Bermudians, and another question, have you ever attended a Bermuda national team game overseas? Have you ever attended a Bermuda national team game overseas? Any team. It could be women's, men's, it could be hockey, anything. Have you ever attended a Bermuda national team game overseas? Now, I'll share why. So we have according to the Royal Gazette, Gombe Warriors to face Jamaica and Curacao in September. And we're facing off. I mean, Jamaica is a powerhouse, right? They've got some players who play professionally at the highest level. But the first game is on September 5th. And then 4 days later, Bermuda will head to Curacao to face them. So I've never been to Curacao. I would love to go to Curacao and support Bermuda's team. I have had the opportunity to support our national team when I was living in South Florida. They played, was it Barbados? Yeah, I think they played Barbados. I'm not sure, but it was a great contingent of us Bermudians who actually lived in South Florida and some Bermudians who flew up to support the team. But what can we do? What can we do to better support our national teams, and how can Bermuda and Bermudians help the team? Like, what can we do? Is it just being in attendance? Is it, I mean, you look at the National Sports Center now, Dame Philadelphia Stadium, and we have national team games. Only the grandstand seems to have people in it. The other side usually looks very empty, right? Now, you go back to the days of Gary Darrell. There's my days, probably before that even then, but the Gary Darrell Bermuda national team games, that stadium was packed. Even back in 2008, I think we played El Salvador or Guatemala, somebody. That stadium was packed on both sides. Why? With the amount of, we have more professionals or players playing professionally outside of Bermuda now. Is it a lack of connection with Bermudians? Like, what is it where we just don't seem to support our national team, at least in person? Like, what can we do? What can we do? We've got Jackie Eve says yes. So Jackie Eve has been overseas to support Bermuda's national team. We've got Dr. Anthony Richardson says yes. Men's, we need to start showing up and not just when they win games. Absolutely. Absolutely. It can't just be when they win. It cannot be just when they win. We've got to support them, like the journey, the process. It has to be the journey. Because for them to get to that stage to win, they need to feel the love. They need to feel the support. But what else, audience? What else can we do? Like, what can we do? Now, I don't know who arranges the games for overseas, but is it something that we think a travel agency or the BFA or the government, like, what is it something that we expect them to do? Is it something that, you know what? No, it's on us. We need to do it. We've got Polly Ritz says yes, some years ago. So she's attended a game. Well, also share, where did you attend that game overseas for Bermuda? Where was it? If you have. Manuela John says no. Okay. Traveling Trotty says yes. Okay. So I think it's 50-50 so far as Bermudians who have attended and who haven't been to a game. Give them corporate sponsors, says Dr. Anthony Richardson. There you go. Corporate sponsorship. You know, I look, I don't want to be critical because I will say, I am grateful to HSBC Bermuda, the way that they support Cup Match Selection Night. We need more HSBC Bermudas. And this is not to disrespect other banks and entities, but as soon as it's something that involves international or not a lack of Black Bermudians, you see other banks or IB companies jumping on board. And I know there are people who will say, well, look, you know, people involved in football or cricket need to fix their attitudes. The game is, you know, has this kind of, you know, reputation or this and that. I think that's unfair. It may be true, but I think it's unfair because certain people are more, it's like the public school to private school thing. Certain people are more likely to be in some spaces than others. So I think it's an unfair correlation. I think that Dr. Anthony Richardson's absolutely correct. We probably need the help and support of the corporate sector in Bermuda to help get Bermuda to the next level. Believe it or not, sponsorship plays a key role in development. And unfortunately, we cannot rely on government to support and supply everything financially because, as I've said before, the government's broke. Thank you for that suggestion. What else, audience, can we do? What else can we do to, you know, support Bermuda's men's national team and help them make it to the World Cup 2026? This is a great opportunity. While Jamaica and Trinidad have both, you know, qualified for the World Cup previously, they're not what they once were in terms of night and day with us. And Bermuda actually used to compete greatly with Jamaica in the Gary Darrow days. Even in 2008, we beat Trinidad, and then we lost to them at home in 2008. We had chances. We can compete with these teams. But what else can we do? As fellow Bermudians and as a country, what can we do? Some of you went to Qatar and saw the World Cup last time around. What can we do? What is it, when you think about Bermuda as a small island jurisdiction, you've seen others from the CONCACAF nations, which we're a part of. You've seen Costa Rica go to the World Cup and perform well. You've seen Jamaica compete with the likes of England, Trinidad. While in population, these countries are much bigger. In spirit and heart, I don't believe they are. So what can we do? Like you sitting there right now thinking, because we're solutions-driven people, what can we do? What can we do to say, you know what? This is how we can do better in supporting Bermuda and Bermudians. What comes to mind? We've got Richard Scott. He says, yes, attended a match in Frisco, Texas a few years ago, Bermuda versus Costa Rica in the Gold Cup. Support. The mindset of players must shift to a more professional mindset, along with a shift in mindset in the business community that supports a major part of life development. We the people must see the importance of our in-person support, which builds confidence for the players and a sense of pride in the community. There were so many gems in what President Richard Scott just said. The professional mindset. I'm going to say this, and you all may not like it, but Bermuda's national cricket team recently played against, I think, Canada, Cayman Islands, and they lost the final 2 games. And one of the players put a post, which was deleted soon after, about, I guess I'm getting high tonight, or going to smoke something, whatever. You all may not like me. You may think I'm unforgiving for what I'm about to say, but that player would probably never represent Bermuda again. And the reason for that is the person's not that young based on my knowledge. And when I say they're not that young, they're not a teen. They're not early 20s. They're at least in the early 30s. And that means that the learning professionalism is going to be a bit more difficult at that stage. We have to set standards. My hope is that with more players playing in professional spaces, that they can influence the players who don't. That's my hope with this. So the professional mindset, that's step one on the player side. I agree with that. And then the community development part of life. I always used to say to my players when I coached 9, 10, 11-year-olds, don't allow football or any sport to use you. Use it to achieve what you truly want to accomplish in life. And what I mean by that is whether it's a scholarship, you really want to be an electrician, you want to be a business executive, use your skills and ability to catapult you to where you want to be. Because the truth is, not everyone's going to be a professional footballer. The same way not everyone's going to be an accountant or a CEO. But the mindset, getting them to understand, to use their skills and ability to achieve even greater things beyond what they're currently doing. And one more last thing on what President Richard Scott said in the comments. The business community, there has to be a better link. And I'm going to say it because I've said it on this show. I absolutely appreciate the way that Pride, Out Bermuda and Pride generates sponsorship. But it's easy because it's popular. It's easy for corporations to support that because it's popular. To really fix a community, to really make a true commitment in community development is to actually go places where others aren't going, to support things that others are ignoring. When I've seen some of the documents and forms from these companies, they don't care about the local community. They care about what they can get from it. And that's why I always say when it comes to charity, we have to be very careful. Charity right now for many organizations is what can we get from it? What can make us look good in the public light? Let's tag our name to this. This is a cause that's popular. We need to get to a space where corporations are doing things because it's the right thing to do consciously, not because it's the popular thing to do. Because at the end of the day, all they become is marketing PR campaigns, not charitable efforts to truly make a difference. All right, let's move on. What else, audience? What else? How can Bermuda and Bermudians help Bermuda's men's national team finally qualify for the World Cup? Darnell Reyna says sponsorship is very important. Giving back is very important. Absolutely. I think even from a player standpoint, giving back. Players, like outside off the pitch, get in the community. Like, I don't know if the Bermuda men's football national team get in the community, do what the corporations do, what I just spoke of. Like, work with KBB, work with Bermuda Cancer and Health, work with SCARS. Like, put yourselves out there in the community and build relationships with them. Because if you build relationships with the community, they're more likely to support you. So get out there. That's something that the Bermuda national team can do. build relationships in the community. Kathy Del Haywood Ming says, how do more public announcements, do more public announcements about our teams? We also need to come together as a country pride needed. Yeah, I know someone was on social media recently saying like, what, Bermuda's, a few games away from qualifying for the World Cup. Where's the hype? Where's the information and so on from the Bermuda Football Association? Well, we need to do a better job of knowing how to access things, but I do agree. Maybe more public announcements. Polly Rich says we need to ensure teams have all the resources they need to train, travel, and play. Yeah, absolutely. And also agrees that more public announcements on teams. Said the mindset must grow professionally from a very young age. Yeah, absolutely. It has to be instilled in us, right? It has to be instilled in us. What else, audience? What else? What else do you have? What else? We've got to go to the news break. Don't forget, we've got President Richard Scott from Somerset Club coming up. We're going to be discussing about this year's Classic. Are you excited? Are you ready? We're going to do the news break in a second, but this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan and Titan Express and Secure. So grateful to them. Let's show them some love. We'll come back. We'll do the news break, and then we will bring President Richard Scott in for the daily discussion. Daily focus, sorry.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
Alrighty, thank you so much to everyone who's been sticking with us so far. If you haven't already, do me a huge favor. Do us a huge favor. Do us a huge favor. Whatever social media platform you're on, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, Instagram, take a moment right now and just give us a like, a love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Help us beat the algorithm. Also, again, a big shout out to everyone who came through to Medical House yesterday. It was a joy to meet you, little China, 5 years old. It was a pleasure to meet you. You are a star. She was such a pumpkin. Miss Bailey, it was so great. Funny, I didn't recognize you the entire time until your daughter came, but it was so great seeing you, Miss Bailey. Thank you for your support. And Miss Marilyn, who said worked with my mom, Hadaline, Miss Karen, Michelle, so many. If I forget, please, if I forget you, do not hold against me. To everyone, I mean, you got a lot of stuff from Medical House and the Daily Hour yesterday. So we hope that you're repping your team, even if you're for Somerset. Yes, even if you're for Somerset. But we hope you rep your team over the next week and just do our best to put a safe and loving holiday over our island. We desperately need it. So let's go to Teo with Daily Hour News Break. And then don't forget, you've got President Richard Scott coming up. Always a good conversation with the president.
I'm Teo Dill, and welcome to the TDH News Break, brought to you by our friends at Peoples. Speaking of Peoples, if you're heading to the beach or the backyard, make Peoples your first stop to stock up on first aid, hydration, and good vibes before the holiday kicks off in exactly 7 days. Now, Bermuda showed up on the front pages of globally read publications yesterday for a reason it's hard to know how to feel about exactly. It's a bad story that does demonstrate the competence of our law enforcement officials, so that's good. On outlets like the ABC News, the New York Post, the Washington Post, a whole bunch of others, you can find a story about 4 Carnival cruise ship passengers who were arrested yesterday for carrying a whole bunch of drugs, including carfentanil. Think fentanyl if it was strong enough to put Superman into a coma. Along with the carfentanil, the quartet were also carrying cannabis vape pens and what are believed to be THC gummies. Now, just so you understand the seriousness of this seizure, carfentanil can be understood as a weapon of mass destruction because of the drug's capacity to kill using only tiny amounts.
Like other opioids, carfentanil can dangerously lower your heart rate and breathing, and it doesn't take much to do it. In powdered form, carfentanil can look a lot like table salt, but it's so strong that ingesting, injecting, or inhaling a single grain can be fatal. To put it into perspective, a single kilogram can kill 50 million people. That's everyone in Canada and then some. To make things worse, even inadvertent contact can cause an overdose. That means it's dangerous not only for drug users, but anyone who comes into contact with it. First responders, doctors, border control agents. That's why these Mounties put on hazmat suits when they intercepted a package in Vancouver.
In much more reassuring news, shout out and well done to Bermuda College for signing their 41st articulation agreement, making it easier and cheaper for local engineering students to study overseas. BC's new deal with the Herff College of Engineering at the University of Memphis, the most comprehensive agreement for engineering students that BC's ever put together, will allow Associates of Science graduates pre-approval of their credits for transfer to U of M's bachelor's program in civil, mechanical, electrical, and computer engineering. As you can see here, University of Memphis's international tuition costs close to 40 grand per year, 40 grand per year. And going to BC can cost close to a tenth of that for Bermudians. So very well done, BC President Dr. David Sam and the entire Bermuda College team. And this dynamic applies to all the schools you see scrolling past right here. Visit college.bm to learn more. Now, it's summer vacation time here in Bermuda, which for thousands of us means traveling to the U.S. And there are a bunch of reasons why we might want to reconsider or decide to choose a different destination right now rather than the U.S. But there is one big one that you might not be thinking about that much. That is, the U.S. is in the midst of the worst measles outbreak in 33 years. There have been more measles cases in 2025 than in any year since 1992, and we haven't even got to the winter yet. Here's why this is happening, and as importantly, why this matters for us if we're going to that place.
Childhood vaccination rates fell during the pandemic and have not yet bounced back. Experts say that you want about 95% of a population to be vaccinated in order to stop the spread of measles. But the latest data tells us that only about 93% of kindergartners have the MMR vaccine nationwide. And in Gaines County, Texas, the epicenter of the measles outbreak, the vaccination rate hovers around 82%.
Now, those last numbers are the ones that we want you to focus on. The source of the U.S. outbreak is a Texas county with child vaccination rates that, as of late last year, are twice as strong as ours here in Bermuda. So before you book your ticket, please keep that in mind. Now, as far as the weather's concerned, we will hopefully be getting some tank rain over the next 36 hours with a cold front sliding across the island, increasing the chance for extended showers coupled with an increase in wind intensity. Everything should start clearing up by tomorrow afternoon or so with a return to sunny, clear skies in time for the weekend. And that is your TDH News Break brought to you by our friends at Peoples. I'm Teo Dill. Thank you for hanging out.
Alrighty, thanks so much for that, Tay. That weather was from yesterday, by the way, so don't take his word for that. We don't need any lawsuits. Thanks so much for that. That fentanyl thing bothered me. That bothered me. That's dangerous. That's scary. As Charles H. Jefferson II says right here, that sounds scary. Thankful for law enforcement for preventing that from reaching our shores. There's some serious things out here, folks. And they need to stay out of the hands of Bermuda and Bermudians. I don't know if we quite understand the damage, but you can look in many neighborhoods or cities and towns in the US to see what that has done to people. It's not good, and we don't need that in Bermuda. Trust me, we don't. So props to law enforcement. Thanks, Teo, for sharing that. I also want to, it's days of the year. Here's your days of the year. So it's International Self-Care Day. It's International Self-Care Day. And I want to ask the audience, I want to ask all of you, what do you do for self-care? What do you do for self-care? And I'll tell you what I do. And it's interesting because I was in the barbershop the other day and I didn't know that it was not masculine to get a massage or get your feet done. Like that's self-care. That's hygiene to me. But for me, self-care, man, I like getting a little massage. I'm going to get me a spa treatment and relaxing. Like that's self-care. I would recommend everyone doing it. Talking to my therapist, even though she tells me things I don't want to hear a lot as of late. But that's self-care to me, because it's, being courageous enough to take accountability and have someone share refreshing perspectives to, help you consider, the decisions you make. That's self-care to me. Working out, like, I don't force myself. I actually like it. The fact that I'm in physical therapy right now and I'm not able to do it as often, it bothers me, because I like food. So, the balance is a bit off. But what do you do for self-care? It's International Self-Care Day, folks. What do you do for self-care? What is self-care to you? What are some of the things you like to do for self-care? I know you all do something. Everyone just can't go to work and then go home. No one goes to, like, there's this new place. Well, it's not new, but I found about it this year. But they wash your hair, and I don't have hair. So I called them. I was like, do you do bodies? They're like, oh yes, we do all scalps. And it's like head massage place. It's real cool. It's in Sandy Springs, Georgia, I think. But that's pretty cool. But what do you do? It's International Self-Care Day. What do you do for self-care? We've got Charles H. Jefferson II. He says, getting a manicure and pedicure is always good. Hadley and Swan says, definitely use my sick/mental health days, spend time with my parents, cleaning the bathroom and refrigerator. Okay. I like that. Use your days, folks, and spend time with family. Dr. Anthony Richardson says, I enjoy a me day away from work and others, in gym, body massage, being on the water side. Yep. Okay. We've got Shawnette Bowles says, nails and feet done, massage. Okay. Suzanne Ingham says, reading, rest, sleeping, sewing, walking in winter. Oh, those winter temps. We've got Kathy Dell Hayward Ming says, self-care is pedicure, hair done, and plenty of rest. And please, people, leave those negative people alone. Indeed. I love the fact that you all do understand the importance of self-care. Something everyone seems to say, like, it's rest. It's having someone cater to you. You deserve it. Self-care is needed. And I don't think, especially men, especially Black men, seriously, it's okay to do something for yourself. It's okay to not go to the bar with the boys. It's okay to spend time with your family. It's okay to get a massage. It's okay to go to a therapist. It's okay. Fishing off the rock, says Marquita Lee. If you're a fisher, like if you fish like me, that could be quite frustrating, waiting for those things to bite. I don't know how to bait well, but I love to fish. Zena Trott says, putting my phone down by 9 p.m. Now that's some self-care. Yeah, that's some self-care. Loving myself, says Darnell Reyna. Loving myself, simply loving myself. All right, folks, we're going to take a break. Don't forget, we'll come back after this. We've got President of Somerset Cricket Club, Richard Scott, joining us. He'll be, speaking about the upcoming annual classic. Stick with us. You don't want to miss this. Our good buddy. Oh, my goodness. The other side, the wrong side, the opposite side of me. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
"96 degrees, real hot, oh yes."
Summer's heating up, but your home, it can chill. PAC is turning down the heat with 20% off Carrier X-Power mini split AC units. They're sleek, whisper quiet, and smart thanks to energy-saving inverter technology. New install, upgrade, doesn't matter. Just don't miss out. For a limited time, get 20% off when you pay with cash, credit, or debit.
96 degrees, real hot.
Swing by BAC on Mill Creek Road today.
Bermuda holidays are a time when we celebrate our community, traditions, and the beauty of Bermuda. HSBC is deeply rooted in the community and proud once again to be the lead sponsor of Cup Match. Somerset! St. George's!
St. George's!
Whether you're heading east to watch Cup Match in person or spending time camping, boating, swimming, or simply relaxing, no matter which team you choose, Cup Match is one of the most spectacular and energizing events, bringing the entire island together in celebration of Emancipation Day and Mary Prince Day. Wishing all of Bermuda a happy Cup Match from HSBC, and may the best team win.
Somerset! St. George's!
HSBC, opening up a world of opportunity.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Alrighty, welcome to Cup Match Selection Night.
Oh, my favorite time of the year, man.
I'm excited. I am excited.
So hoop is an amazing thing.
It was so difficult.
See the anticipation on the porches, you hear all the banter.
The last man to lead St. George's to a Cup Match victory. Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamal Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we're able to pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. Folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Don't forget, this Saturday night, live, we'll have people at the grounds, Somerset and St. George's Cricket Clubs, as we have Cup Match Selection Night. Find out who is going to be in your team. Engage with Cup Match vets like Lionel Cairns, Stephen Otterbridge, and one half of the Voice of Summer, Jason Ford. You don't want to miss it. We'll probably have some live conversations with our special guests that we have coming up. Now let's give a warm TDH welcome. Let me make sure I get, because I don't want to play that one. Nope, we're not going to boo the president. Let's get the right song. Let's give a warm TDH welcome to our good friend, the president of Somerset Cricket Club, Richard Scott. Greetings, Sir President. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to my good friend, Mr. Hartman, and the TDH family. Good morning. I'm going to express joy and gladness. I'm not going to dish out what I have received so far.
He sounded like a mature president, because we got Charles H. Jefferson II. He says, "No heckling of President Scott, Charles H. Jefferson II." So he's trying to hold himself. But Somerset folks are definitely happy to have you in the building. Zena Trott says, "My president." We've got Selena Simons, favorite time of the year, and Marla Brown, champions. It's you know this is one of my favorite times, if not my favorite time of the year. Obviously, you love it. Second time around as president, but before we even jump into Cup Match and the conversation, I've got to ask you about self-care, and the reason we're both black men, right? Black men, I think, masculinity wise, are afraid to do any form of self-care. You are, been president of one of Bermuda's most cherished clubs, not just in sport, but in terms of community. How important do you believe self-care is, especially in young black men becoming men? And what do you do for self-care?
Yeah, interestingly enough that you bring this up, because I just had a conversation with Vakita Baston of the Ministry of Health regarding mental health. And the self-care is so important, because I think the sort of stigma attached to black man and self-care is that, oh, we're fine, we don't share that side of us. But I think it's absolutely important. And Jamal, even when you shared someone such as yourself, the things that you do, it was an encouragement to myself. It was indeed an encouragement to myself. And I hope that the listening audience would take that as, oh my goodness, you know what, self-care is actually okay. And I think we as black men have to get that message out there, that the self-care is absolutely and vitally important to our longevity. And
indeed,
personally, my self-care, because I jotted it down, is travel and rest. I recognized years ago, after probably my first cup match Houston Cup match back in 2006, man, I was so stressed. And I went to Orlando for the week and did nothing, did absolutely nothing, just rest. And I came back rejuvenated like a brand new person.
I'm glad you said that you went and did nothing, because I when people ask me what I like to do, some of the things I include in that saying, and honestly, some days just doing nothing. That's a part of self-care, especially, as stressful as cup match can be. And people have other things that they do that are so stressful, but knowing how to unwind is one of the most important questions I like to ask people now. What do you do after a day at work to unwind? But let's jump into today's conversation. So as mentioned, this is your second go round as president of Somerset Cricket Club. We're talking mid 2000s. Now we're talking 20 years later. How have you seen Somerset Cricket Club evolve from the time you were president to now?
I think for us, we really have, we're on this, well, I've used as a slogan in my second go round, forward together. And one of the things that I found is that, yes, we were a thriving organization, but our community has become somewhat fragmented in so many areas. And one of the thrusts that we're using is, no longer is it just about the members of the club. We're trying to really engage the entire community, so that everyone who is a part of the community, and that extends beyond Somerset, has the opportunity or the possibility to become a member. And if you don't, it's okay, but let's do this thing together.
Indeed, I love that, extending it beyond the community. I just want to share this, because we had, we've got some Somerset fans out there, Jackie Eve and Rashima Swan. I love to see it. I love to see it. Love to see it. I love this time of year, because it's good banter, it's healthy community. But we do have Charles H. Jefferson II, who says President Scott will need some self-care after next Friday. No, not hackling. Some people can't help themselves, Mr. President.
Yes. Mr. Jaffas is a member of a choir. He's one of a few. Mr. Famous is another member.
Is it Darius Richardson, I think?
Darius Richardson is a member of that choir. Gildan Gilbert is a member of that choir. Minister Ming, MP Ming, she's not been to choir practice that much this year, but every now and then she pops up. So it's a number of choir members that
I must say, I need his demeanor. I need his temperament, folks, because he is the calmest in response. Charles, it scares me. I'm gonna be honest. President Richard Scott's demeanor is scary to me because the man does his talking on the field, and the way he's been talking over the last few years it's scary, Charles. So I'm not going to talk in his face. I'm going to wait till he leaves to say what I have to say. All right. I'm going to wait till he leaves. But let's speak about it. Obviously, hosting last year is very different. How does the visiting club? You know, we had President Michelle Painter on Tuesday. How does the visiting club support the efforts of the host?
Yeah, one of the things that has become quite paramount of late is that both clubs are working more closely together with the production of Cup Match, because what has become, a game where at one point people just had their sandwiches and Kool-Aid picnic drink has become this, this now big production. And we now see it as, okay, guys, let's work together so that the product of Cup Match is maintained at a high level, no matter what, no matter who is hosting, whether it's at Somerset, whether it's at St. George's. So even ourselves as the visiting club, we support St. George's by we've had 3 joint Cup Match meetings leading up, and it's an opportunity for us to share what didn't work for us, the challenges, we do a SWOT analysis pretty much, so that it's beneficial to the host club for the current year. So it's a lot of consultation, and we leave the competition to the players on the field.
I love the collaboration. I love it. And I think that's what people were looking at for years. Folks, if you're tuned in on Hot 107.5, we are talking to the president of Somerset Cricket Club, Mr. Richard Scott, in the building. We've got quite a few, Somerset fans are showing up. We've got Siobhan Postlewaite. We've got Jody Zool says, Jamel, it's only one team that's shows up at Cup Match, right? And that would be Somerset. Well, that seems to be the case, but no longer. As in the words of the illustrious Charles H. Jefferson II, this is our year. All right.
The choir.
Somerset they haven't just retained the cup over the last 14 years. They've been dominant. What do you put Somerset's dominance on the pitch down to?
Well, I'm not going to share all of our secrets, but let me say this, that we have a strategic plan, and that plan is unfolding or being executed, not 100%, I'll admit that, but we're in the 90 percentile range as to the execution of that strategic plan. And I think that that's why we're seeing the consistency, I'll say that, of the success that we're seeing on the field.
The fact that you haven't hit 100% of the plan and you've been dominant, that would scare the living daylights out of me if I was the actual opposition on the field. But also, one of the things that I know that is said about tourism is that other destinations they came to Bermuda to see what Bermuda was doing, and then they mimicked Bermuda and then took over Bermuda. I think, if I'm in a competition with someone, I kind of want to, well, what are they doing differently that I'm doing? So you're setting a standard, and not just in terms of Cup Match clubs. I hope that many other clubs in Bermuda can follow whatever that is that you all are doing, because it's definitely working.
I just want to parenthetically add that, in a situation like what's going on at Somerset, and even today, you guys get to see me, right? But I am the face of many, not just our executive, not just our management team, but our entire membership, even those who are not yet members. We have so much support when it comes to the well-oiled machine that we see in Somerset Cricket Club. So, make no mistake, it's not just me. This is a concerted effort. And, not every day is a good, smiley, happy day. There are
absolutely
quite a bit of challenges, but we have to be willing to work through those challenges in order to achieve the goals that we have set.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. It's definitely a collaborative effort internally as well, and definitely the results are showing. And speaking on that, because Somerset has done something interesting over the years, where you've been very welcoming as far as your cup match team. And we say welcoming, it's kind of, when you think of it, like people may question, well, why Somerset naming a captain for cup match who doesn't play for the club? Whereas St. George's, it's pretty much, well, if you play for the club, you have a special, you have a 1 point up for you. Why has Somerset taken that approach though, where it's treated more like an all-star game, and we're okay naming someone or naming a team of majority players who don't play for your club team? Why that approach?
Well, again, that required lots of working through the juxtapositions of, typically we have had a captain from our league team. I know when the first time that we went outside of our league team to select a cup match captain, it brought about lots of angst within the even the executive and management committees, because traditionally our captain was our club captain, our league team captain. But again, as life evolves, I'm finding that sometimes we have to be willing to be flexible with even our traditions. I'm a Bible man, and the Bible says the traditions of man make the word of God of no effect. And if we're going to stick to tradition, sometimes it could make purpose, it can dull purpose down. And if we see that, perhaps the best decision for the organization is that the person leading is not necessarily someone who lives on Cricket Lane or is from Soundview or Cooks Hill or Scotts Hill, it's okay. And we will work through that juxtaposition that causes discomfort. And I believe that we as a club have embraced the fact that, in the name of advancing the betterment of our organization, we will make the unpopular decisions, and we see the benefit of it down the road.
Indeed. Audience, if you have any questions or comments for President Scott, please send them through. We'll definitely make sure we get through as many as possible. There has been a big change in Somerset, a big change. This is Gennaro Tucker, Mr. Cup Match, first year as coach. What does he have to do to build on what previous coach Jeff Richardson left behind?
Well, the great thing about Gennaro's transition from or into the position of head coach really isn't that great of a quantum leap, because he has been the assistant coach for a number of years. Of course, Gennaro didn't get the title of Mr. Cup Match just by popular vote. He has earned the right to that title. Although my good friend Charles H. Jeffers II gives us the eye roll when we refer to Gennaro as Mr. Cup Match. But Gennaro has earned that right. So the transition from dominant player to assistant coach to now head coach, again, speaks volumes of recognizing someone's call and purpose in life, because we know that not all good players make good coaches. And but we see the benefit, we see the purpose of Gennaro's life, and we're seeing it unfold. So it's not that big of a quantum leap, although yes, he goes from being the assistant coach, and the irony of it is that it's been sort of like a little flip-flop, because Jeff is providing support for him as the somewhat of an assistant.
Indeed. I love it. And I think you've even gotten the transition part, right? You've got the transition part. We've got Mrs. Painter. Given her Somerset colors, this is the wife of President Michelle Painter. You know, I'm going into therapy on this one because I don't know, Mr. President Painter, but awesome to see. I just love what Cop Match brings out. When you look at the community, when you see the banter and the engagement, how does it make you feel knowing that you play such an important role in the actual atmosphere of the game?
I think the banter is great for Bermuda. Oftentimes we talk about how much we lack Bermudian pride, but I believe that we get the opportunity to build on this Bermudian pride. There have been so many people that's like, you know what, I'm going to start being for Somerset because you guys are dominant. No. Continue to support St. George's. Continue to support Somerset, whoever your team is, because that is a sense of it. I don't believe that we understand the significance of even something as well. Cup match really isn't small, but something as important as cup match in a sporting arena can provide national pride. Because it gives us the opportunity to be loyal and dedicated to our team. So it's awesome. Listen, I got on the plane when I got here, July 7th. I'm in preparation. I made sure I don't even have anything in my closet that is even close to light blue. And I like to wear light blue. Caught a lot of flack because our family was on vacation. We took a family photo, and this year's color was baby blue. And I was like, man, you guys, I'm gonna catch a lot.
You did.
Of course. But I like baby blue. But I tell you what, there is not a smidgen of baby blue in my closet.
You got caught slipping, President. You got caught slipping. You did. It was a beautiful picture, beautiful family picture. I think someone in your family set you up there. I said they knew what they were doing.
And my oldest son is actually a St. George's fan. His family are St. George's folks through and through. I love them. We have wonderful banter. But this is one of the, like you said earlier, this is one of the best times outside of Christmas. Cup match is like, it brings our community together, even though that we have ties to, two different teams.
Absolutely. And speaking of cup match, obviously, the cricket game is, the big, exciting thing that people got. But both clubs have made it a point to make sure that it's beyond the cricket. There's an education component. In fact, Somerset, you're doing something with Corey Butterfield, I believe tonight, right?
Yeah,
speak to us about ensuring that people understand the historical aspect and why it's so important to hold these events, and are there still tickets available to attend tonight?
Sure. Well, tonight we're having the emancipation presentation, and of course, Mr. Corey Butterfield, who is, I've had the opportunity to attend a number of presentations on emancipation by Mr. Butterfield, and the wealth of knowledge that he has able to gather and present is phenomenal. And Jamal, I must admit that my first go round as president, the emphasis wasn't even on emancipation. It was just this whole cup match product. And then it sort of grew on me over the years. I'm like, wait a minute, if I didn't know as the president, if I didn't know the significance of emancipation and getting that story out there, then perhaps it's others that didn't know as well. So, I was in talks with former President Neil Painter when I returned, and then of course with President Michelle Painter, saying, guys, let's make sure that we do our part, because we can't, on one hand, stand on our soapbox and say that this is our event and neglect the historical value that's attached to it. And so we've been purposeful, and hence why we're having it. We had an emancipation presentation by Dr. Radal Tankett last year, and this year our education committee came up with having Mr. Corey Butterfield, and so that's tonight. Yes, it's free of charge. come one, come all. I even encourage the St. George's fans to come, wear your colors, because that adds to the atmosphere as well. But more than that, we need to, and we're going to do our part with getting the emancipation story out there, because once again, this is a part of our life development.
Absolutely.
This is a part of our life development. And I believe that oftentimes we miss these opportunities to as organizations, to get the message out there that, you know what, this is all a part of us all being better people.
Indeed, I love that. I love that. And I think, being a part of the Bermuda trivia team, and when we did the Cup Match edition and the things that I learned, I think that's what brought me closer even more to it, because I want people, again, you know this, Mr. President, it was about 2013 when I decided, I was living in New York, I'm going to be a part of Cup Match Camp. I'm getting the Emancipation Act printed, and we've had it on our door. And when I wish over the years I could have captured people reading it, because there are a lot of people who didn't know it and didn't know the correlation, and seeing locals and tourists, black and white, reading the Emancipation Act and understanding the significance of it. In the U.S. And
I just want to jump in a second. The other day when you shared that on Tuesday, when you had President Painter from St. George's on, immediately the door came when you shared how you have the Emancipation Proclamation on your camp's door. Immediately I was like, oh, you know what, for next year, this is what we need to do. Have the Emancipation Proclamation at all gates, so that while people are waiting in line, they can actually read the Emancipation Proclamation. So I jotted that down. I was like,
I love that, and that's how it works. Like we learn from each other. We kind of put the information out there. Because I was telling someone in the like me explaining it to my American friends. Like I don't start with Cup Match, the cricket. I'm like, it's a cricket game, but I said, look at it as our Juneteenth, right? So you see how you all have only been celebrating Juneteenth literally for like the last 2021 or 2020. It was signed by President Biden, right? I think 2021. But in saying that, this is what it is for us, right? And it's literally been an official holiday since 1999 for us, right? So that's how I explain it to them. Explain it to them, I realize a lot of Bermudians don't even understand that. They don't know that. They don't realize that it wasn't until, was it the 1940s, that it was actually recognized as a 2-day holiday, right? Cup Match. So there's so much to it that I'm proud that my own research has led me to this, and that you, the presidents of both institutions, with your teams and your clubs, are making sure that people understand the significance from the friendly societies all the way up to now of what you are putting on. And I say that because I want people to understand. You know, I was talking to a client the other day, and I don't want to shift the conversation, but you know who I am and how I am, Sir President. And I promise I'm not writing any letters to the editor about it this year. I promise you all. But they said that I hope that Cup Match is a great performance on the field and not just the party that it seems like it's come to be. And I love a good party. Don't get me wrong, folks. I love a good party. But I understood what they were saying. And I think that what you're doing tonight at Somerset Cricket Club, those kind of things can build towards it remaining meaningful, because what we don't want to do is lose the meaningful part. And I love how honest you were when you said the first time when you first became president, you didn't even consider the emancipation, like it was how to put this Cup Match thing on. So I appreciate that. What would you say? Someone's just asking about tonight, Sir President. What time does it start?
7:30.
7:30. Okay.
Yeah, 7:30. It's in our upstairs auditorium and it's air conditioned, so you don't have to worry about, oh gosh, it's gonna be all these people, all this heat.
That'll be my first thought.
And of course, the education committee, they will have light refreshments. It's really gonna be, you're in for a treat. I'm telling you, I've had the opportunity to attend Chorus, Mr. Butterfield's presentations previously, and they are power packed with information.
Before you had a couple more questions, I'll take one from the audience. But we have Cup Match Selection Night coming up this Saturday. We'll have people on the grounds up in Somerset, Matthew Fullerton and Sancha Durham, both big Somerset fans. Sancha actually said that she became an official member 2 nights ago. She's now a member. I love our team. You know, they're great. They love it. They're excited. But what can people expect? Because I know President Painter kind of gave insight as to how things work in St. George's the other day. How do things work in Somerset? Is there a difference? Like, how do you go about picking your team? How many people? Is it 5 people on your committee as well?
Yeah, 5. The selection night protocols are, pretty standard. Once the trial match is over, typically there's like probably about an hour or 2 gap, and then the selection committee will, go into the chambers to select their teams. And then once they have selected their team, the chairman of selectors, who is Norbert Simons, would give me a call to let me know that they're ready. Because what we do is at that point convene a special general meeting to present the team to our financial members. And then, of course, the team is presented to the general public by way of we still do the old-fashioned way. We put our team on the black chalkboard and we put it outside. But of course, at that same time, we also, you guys actually help us in that, in getting the team out by way of social media. So yeah, those are it's pretty simple. The selection committee does the thing, and the selection committee is made up of our chairman of selectors. Of course, our coach, and they pretty much determine who the others will be. They've selected a well-oiled team this year, and I have no doubt. I mean, I told them just on Tuesday night, I said, listen, just call me to let me know when you guys are finished. And I live probably not even 5 minutes away from the club. I can be there, and then
is the captain on the committee? Is the captain?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So can I just have one request? Same request to President Painter. Can we get it done before 1 a.m. at least?
Yeah.
St. George's beat you last year, surprisingly, right? Somerset has traditionally been very quick, but no, I love the night. I think it's Bermuda's draft night. I mean, if anyone's familiar with draft and sports, basketball, NFL, it's just an exciting time, and I love what both clubs have been doing over the last few years. I love how Cup Match is growing, and I love that the community seems to be responding to how Cup Match is growing. Another question from the audience. Actually, this is a valid question because it's something I should have asked President Painter as well. But Charles H. Jefferson II, why isn't the president a member of the committee? Like, why wouldn't the presidents be involved?
The presidents are involved by way of the chairman of selection, who's a member of the management committee. So Mr. Norbert Simons, he pretty much represents me.
Got it.
I get involved if there's a stalemate. To date, I haven't. I think 1 year there was an issue with 1 or 2 players, and I kind of meandered our way through the discussion because at the end of the day, I believe as a leader that you empower people to make decisions. And to be confident in the decision that they make. I think oftentimes or sometimes we leaders tend to give our slant, and it can be somewhat soft bullying. I try to avoid that and give advice.
All right.
Although the choir that I referred to earlier, the choir has accused me of being a bully.
My goodness, I can't say to the choir I've seen that behavior from the president. Real quickly, another question from the audience about a Hall of Fame. You have greats like Clarence Parfitt, Gennaro Tucker, Charlie Marshall, the Smith brothers, so many. Have the clubs ever discussed having like a cup match Hall of Fame? Is that something that we can expect in their future?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. At Somerset, at one point, if you went upstairs in our hallway, we once had a whole bunch of pictures hanging out there that became sort of like our Hall of Fame. But of course, over the years, um, as the number of people that made significant contributions to whether it be sports or administration, we've now gotten to the place where we're like, okay, guys, we need to look externally, and and in all seriousness, a discussion has been floated, the idea of, with the government closing schools, the possibility of one of those buildings becoming a cup match Hall of Fame that become, it's almost like a cup match Hall of Fame, a museum where it becomes interactive, all of that, so that people really have, even visitors will have the opportunity to go to a place and, fixate their eyes on those who have made significant contributions to the game of cup match.
I love that. I love that aspect of a museum. Before you head out, what would you say to Bermuda and Bermudians as we head toward the 2025 annual classic?
Of course, I would encourage everyone to come out to Wellington Oval to support cup match. Unfortunately, we won't be able to house everyone, but if you can't come out to cup match, be supportive in some way, shape, or form, whether that's wearing your colors all of next week, just to rev up and amp up the whole the spirit of cup match. I believe wholeheartedly that we're in it now, a week out. But I would encourage those of us who are planning to attend, come with a spirit of supporting your team, come with a spirit of family, of friends gathering together. It's an opportunity when, those of us, Jamal and I, you and I know this all too well, that it's an opportunity for those of us who live overseas to gather. It's almost, cup match is almost like a homecoming, so to speak. But I would certainly encourage everyone to come out, come with the right attitude. Let's come. Let's make this a cup match where the authorities, the police, the regiment, and all of them, they don't even have to really do anything, because we're a well-behaved a group of people. Let's prove that we can get together and have fun, and it's safe, and it's a family environment, and and at the end of the day, I absolutely have to say, go Somerset.
we respect it, Sir President. Richard Scott, thank you so much for making time for us. We always appreciate you and Somerset Cricket Club. But we'll definitely be seeing each other. And don't worry, folks. We got along in person. We
sure do.
But we'll be in touch. Thank you so much. And I guess we'll see you cup match selection night this Saturday night.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, TDH family. Thank you.
All righty. President Richard Scott, folks, whatever platform you're streaming on, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, do us a huge favor. Give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We're going to take a final break. We'll come back after this and we'll wrap it up for the day. Stick with, we've got some cup match trivia coming up, and you better get this right. If you're a Somerset fan, you definitely better get this right, unless I'm calling you a fake. Stick with us. Alrighty, welcome to Cup Match Selection Night.
Oh, my favorite time of the year, man.
I'm excited. I am excited.
So hoop is an amazing thing.
It was so difficult.
You feel the anticipation on the porches, you hear all the banter.
The last man to lead St. George's to a cup match victory.
Considering the increasing challenges faced by financial institutions, the need for insurance protection is a critical component of the risk management framework. At Friesenbrook, our priority is to safeguard your assets with the most optimal, cost-effective risk management cover to help protect your business, whether it be cyber, directors and officer liability, professional indemnity, or property insurance. Call us on 296-3600 to learn more about our full suite of competitive corporate insurance products. At Friesenbrook, we provide insurance you can count on.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda business starts here.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Novazoc Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to President Richard Scott, Somerset Cricket Club's leader and head of the team, making sure that they are representing the very best of Bermuda. Appreciate President Scott for stopping by. Always a good conversation. Wrong team. I had to slip that in. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lindos, People's Pharmacy, and the big HSBC Bermuda. We love you for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. Folks, if you haven't already, do us that big favor. Help us beat the algorithm so that everyone you know has access to these most important community conversations. Give us a like, love, follow, and even we have a new subscriber, Trent. Big up to Trent. You too can be a subscriber on our YouTube channel if you choose. We appreciate your support. So thank you to Trent for becoming a subscriber today as well. Alrighty, so it is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Bermuda Trivia, the Cup Match Edition, is available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, let's go, audience. It's Cup Match Trivia today. Somerset fans, don't let yourselves down. All right. Somerset Cricket Club hosted its first Cup match at their ground in what year? I should have read, Somerset Cricket Club hosted its first Cup match at their current ground. I don't know if I said current ground, but current ground in what year? The answer is 1949. I was going to give you a second. Well, Julie, if you got it. Congratulations to you. 1949. Yeah, that is it. That's a bit of history for you. 1949. Yep, Polly Rich. You all must have Bermuda trivia cards. But it's seriously, all jokes aside, folks. If you haven't already, get to People's Pharmacy, get to Brown & Co, Caesar's Pharmacy. Quite a few of them have Bermuda Trivia Cup Match Edition. It's fun. It's fun, but it's educational. There's 5 different sections in there. There is, let me see the box. You're going to learn about the history. You'll learn about the game, like stats, batting stats, first fielding stats. There's cultural traditions. So it's a fun game that you will get to learn about, again, the game, but also the history of it. So if you haven't already, play it. I think mini cup matches today. Is mini cup match today, folks? Where's mini cup match? Audience, help me out. Where's mini cup match? I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention that, but mini cup matches today. So if we get someone who tells us where Mini Cup Match is, get out and support the young people at Mini Cup Match, folks. Young people out there, I mean, innocently playing for their colors. So get out there. Richard Scott, President Scott says it's at Bayless Bay Cricket Club. So if you are able, get down there and support the young people at Bayless Bay Cricket Club. Unfortunately, I'm unable. I have an emergency appointment, but if you can, get out there. Michelle White says, enjoyed shopping at Medical House last night. Thanks for the gift certificates too. Were you the $50 winner last night, Michelle White? Someone got $50, but thank you to Medical House for that. Thank you to everyone who showed up, those who just tune in on radio, those who never comment, because we don't know who watches or tunes into the show unless you comment. But to everyone who continues to support us and we're unable to identify you, thank you for your support. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate you very much. I've got to give you some daily inspiration and let's send you on your way. But before we get to that, I want to wrap it up and say this. As far as how can we better support our Bermudian national teams, whether that's the men's teams, football, cricket, hockey, track, whatever it is, it honestly starts with us. Something that I want people to remember that was said during this conversation is the community aspect. The more you engage your community, the more likely you might get their support. If you engage them, they'll likely support you. So I hope that that is part of our national team setup. Part of the movement is to engage the teams in the community. The second part of that is building trust with the corporate community, the corporate community. We need their support. We need their support. As President Scott mentioned, collaborative efforts, that's what's helped to improve Cup Match. Both clubs working together. For our national teams to do well at the highest level and to finally make a World Cup in whatever the sport is, I know we've done it with cricket, but for us to get there and stay there, it's going to require a cultural mindset shift. We've got to be ready for that. We've got to be ready for that. As far as the conversation with President Richard Scott, definitely appreciate both presidents trusting this platform to come on and have these community conversations, to really educate us, to engage us as to what goes on to ensure that we have Cup Match as it is. Thank you all for engaging with them. Here's your daily inspiration, and this comes from Tiger Woods. Quote, no matter how good you get, you can always get better. And that's the exciting part, end quote. Tiger Woods. I love that. No matter how high you get, you can still go higher. No matter how great you are, there are greater things still to accomplish. We are never at the finish line in life until we no longer have it. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we're able to pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.